an episode. So, hello, beautiful people. I'm so sorry for my background. I was not at my university. I'm at home. But anyway, so let's get started. My name is, as I said, MuhammadAli. I have been studying here for it's already the end of the first semester, and I've been awarded Stipendium Hungaricum this year. And by the way, can you all hear me clearly? I hope my voice is clear, and I'm so sorry for any technical errors before. And Elbek, can we present the presentation on your on your end?
Yes. All right.
That's great.
All right.
So I prepared a little presentation for you guys about Stipendium Hungaricum, basically introducing and going through everything. It's not gonna be that long because Stipendium Hungaricum isn't US applications, but still, one thing I'm gonna tell you for sure is that it's your safest last bet as a plan B or plan C, as you might call. So yeah, okay, let's go to the first slide. Wait,
Damn.
could you just open the PowerPoint? Or if you want, let me actually try to share the Google Slide version.
All right.
Yeah, I will share that. Let me go to my Google Slides. I'm so sorry again for any inconveniences. Just a sec. Yep, we're done. Just check out your. I just sent you the slide. Can we now present?
All right.
Yep, go to the first slide. And then we can start.
Sorry. Yeah, all right. So, MuhammadAli, before we start, can you tell us a little about yourself so that we know what a successful applicant really looks like?
So sure about that.
Yeah.
So about that, as I said, I graduated for Ghana Presidential School, which means academically, the presidential schools in Uzbekistan really do prepare any student for any higher level education because it's like A levels. So first of all, I had A levels from chemistry, biology, and mathematics. Well, I didn't score the best. I had A from chemistry, B from math, and biology, ABB overall. Yeah, it's not the best, but it's for Europe, it's still more than enough. So first of all, I had A levels. Then regarding there is IELTS requirement for every university. The lowest requirement is 5.5. So it is pretty low. The bar is very low, but the competition is actually very high. And regarding my IELTS is 8.5, but then it doesn't mean you have to get 8.5 just to get accepted. Though it does help, believe me, 8.5 helped me a lot in my life, not only in application, but a lot other if you know what I'm talking. So 8.5. I had IELTS 8.5, SAT 1490, but you don't need SAT for any European universities, which is good because SAT was designed by US, which means you don't need it. So the only academical type things that they look for is first of all the knowledge of English because we're applying for English taught programs, right? Then there is A levels. If you have, that's great. Or if you took any IPs, that's also IB or APs, that's also great. But then if you don't, that's fine because I know people who are here and studying who haven't taken anything other than IELTS. So the bar is for it is the requirements are 5.5, but then yeah, the higher it is, the better because it shows that you're ready to study everything in English. So the ideal candidate would be for them someone with an IELTS average above the average, which is 7, I believe, 7.5, 8. 7 is still fine. So that's the candidate they look for.
So you're majoring in biology, right? Or was
Yeah,
it pre-med?
yeah, I am majoring in biology.
All right. Yeah, yeah. So I guess we can start now. So that
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Let's move on to the next slide.
All right. All right.
So first of all, what is Stipendium Hungaricum, if you ask? Well, it was initiated Hungarian by the Hungarian people. Uh, Wait, can you pin your presentation, or is it not possible on Telegram? Like, so that like not only the person who's speaking on the preview.
I think yes, we did.
Okay, sure. Well, Stipendium Hungaricum is like naturally it says Stipendium is like a scholarship, and Hungaricum means Hungary. It was established in 2013, and it does provide like scholarship for a lot of countries, for a lot of underrepresented countries. Like because people from Europe are actually really not eligible for the scholarship because like I mean if you're from UK you're not gonna be eligible because your country is already well doing. But then it's aimed for people who are from underrepresented countries. Like there is a lot of people here China, from Korea, from Africa. A lot of people from Africa, from Arab countries like UAE. A lot of like Georgia people here. So this is the type of scholarship, and like the ethnicity is here. Like you have almost every race in this country because it's a very student heavy focused like country, and a lot of people apply for Stipendium Hungaricum. Can we move to the next? And next slide, please. Okay. So the question is like, what does it cover? Like, what does the scholarship cover? So first of all, naturally, the scholarship itself should always cover the tuition. Well, it's basically Stipendium Honorarium is basically a full rate, and full rate means it covers everything. Not quite though. So please listen. And by the way, if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna share some secret sauce, some secret tips that I used. So you guys also will maximize your chance of acceptance. So please stick around to the end because I don't want to spill the beans pretty early. So the scholarship covers the tuition first of all. Then there is monthly stipend, which is around 100 euros. Here, by the way, in Hungary, they do not use euros. Yeah, well, you still can get around these euros or USD, but then it's always better if you have the local currency. So they do not use euros as other countries. Like if you go to like Belgium, Germany, they have euros, and well, that's the universal currency in Europe because it's euros. But then here they don't like it. So just know that. So the stipend is around 100 euros. Then there is if you haven't been awarded the dormitory, which I myself haven't been, and as you can see, I'm living in an apartment. They cover your accommodation contribution. So it's also around 100 euros. So the rent is they're actually around 200 euros here per month. Just to give you a heads up, if you're going to be here, so it's gonna be so the scholarship and the accommodation contribution are gonna go to your rent, and then all your the living expenses will be just groceries. So that's the only thing that you're gonna be left with. So as I said, like if you're given dormitory, that's nice, but because there are so many students, you might not be given. That's they are gonna give you money to cover it up. And then regarding medical insurance, the medical insurance is gonna be no. If you speak in Uzbek, it's gonna be sorta. And what does it basically mean is that like if you're ever sick, you go to the doctor, they prescribe you. So it's basically free medication. And sixth of all, when you're applying for a visa, like once you've been awarded the scholarship, when you're applying for a visa, you're not going to be charged any fees, though there is going to be a center fee. And the center fee that I last year paid, it was 183,000 Uzbek sum, but you're paying it for this not for the visa, but for the service that the center does. So it's not for the visa because like if you've ever applied to US or UK, they charge you for visa and it's pretty expensive. But then since you're lucky, you're getting Schengen visa, which is pretty nice because like I'm gonna explain it later. So you're gonna be getting Schengen visa for free. And then actually here I forgot to edit it, but then the flight ticket is not covered by sending partner, so you still have to book your own tickets. And then like so it's not covered unfortunately. So now moving on to the next slide, it would be about our like why study in Hungary. I'm gonna be honest, like with all of you guys, like I'm gonna be 100% honest. Don't come here unless like you like have no other option. Like I'm gonna be 100% honest. Yeah, is it great? Like, hey, Elbi, could you move to the previous slide? Elbi, hello.
I did. Is it the previous slide?
Yeah, why Hungary? Why Hungary? Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. So like, I'm telling you, like, don't come to Hungary. Like, it was my last option as well, so that's why I came because well, as a last option, it's better than staying in Uzbekistan. Yes, but then it's better than US, UK, which you can go through a youth or Asian universities. I would say no, because the quality of education here, while it's nice and better than Uzbekistan, it's still not as high as you can get in liberal arts or in UK or in Asia. And the reason why that's what I'm saying is that because like unless you want to study medicine, which University of Debrecen, which I'm studying here, is very known for, it still is in the 532 ranking, and like you can, I mean, yeah, it's top 1,000, I mean top 500 around, and you still expect it to be great. But what I'm saying is that like the quality of education here, the professors, some of them don't know the basic English, so it's kind of sometimes hard to communicate with them. I mean, they do still know the English, but then it's still hard. That's why the quality of education here is not the best you can get, but it's still way better than Uzbekistan. Like the labs, the social, and there are other aspects to it. But then if you're coming here solely for academic purposes, then you might want to consider other options first. It's going to be your last option, so please make it as a last option. Don't make it ever your first priority, because it's not something you want to look for when you were studying. Because I have had my first semester, and honestly, there's nothing to do here. Like, they don't provide you internships. They don't provide you any like. I mean, I'm studying in Debrecen, which is the second largest city, and then coming to the end, I will explain why should you apply to Budapest University as well. But then even still, they don't help you much with any internships, like any opportunities. So I'm being completely honest with you guys about this. And but like the Hungary in Europe is known for its very affordable living costs, which you will be spending around like 200 to 250 USD for like living pretty nice life here a month, which is I think almost the same as in Tashkent. So the living costs are a little bit higher than in Tashkent, but then like the living costs are pretty much like all right here. Then the location here is very nice though, because from Hungary you can go to any Europe city or like any country. Like for example, if you're a fan of Paris, you can book a flight for 50 euros, come and go, and it would be great. Like you'll enjoy the experience. It's the Hungary is situated in the center, so like, and you can have access to every Europe. So if you love traveling, then come here and like enjoy your life. And there are a lot of like historical places in Budapest as well. It's a very beautiful city. The capital, like, it's way more beautiful than Tashkent. So it's a very beautiful place to come. But then, is it the best place to study? No. But then to live, it's a very beautiful place. And actually, let me talk about the local people. Local people are actually very nice as well. They love communicating. They are very nice. Even the cashiers will speak English for you to you, and then like, so yeah, that's very nice of them. Then can we go to the next slide? So the selection process is gonna be like this. So you have, I mean, I'm pretty sure in EduGrants it was shared the link to apply for it. So then you first of all apply, like you fill out the extracurriculars, you fill out the rec letters, you fill out the motivation letters, you fill out everything there, and then you send it, right? Then that's the first stage. Well, after the first stage, it's gonna go to actually Ministry of Uzbekistan Education, Ministry of Education in Uzbekistan, because they're gonna evaluate your application first themselves. So the first stage would be in Uzbekistan. So they're gonna review your application and see whether you're good enough to go to Hungary, whether your SS are good enough, and then after this, they send the nomination list like potential candidates to the Tempus Public Foundation, which is the Ministry of Education of Hungary. They send it to Hungary. Then that ministry sends it to the universities that you applied for. Then those universities will have an exam with you, entrance exam and interview with you. Then they will evaluate your performance. Then they will give it back to Hungarian Ministry of Education. then you will be able to then like after successfully passing the every stage, you're going to be nominated, just like me. And everything around would be in June. So everything will be resolved in June. So if you think about the US applications, like you're gonna receive your results in March, April, right? RT results. So it's if you've been rejected from every US or any other university you applied for, it's gonna be the last option that you have. And I mean, other than AU, it's gonna be the best option you have. So yeah, let's go to the next slide. Here, so as you can see, the by the way, this is from previous year. So the application deadline for the scholarship is 15th January. You submit everything as I mentioned before. Then there is gonna be first selection. You're gonna receive an email if you've gone through the first filtering phase, as I would like to call it. Like the government, Uzbekistan government will see if you're good enough, and then they will sort you out and then send it to campus. Then there is until 15th March, if I'm not mistaken, until 15th of March, you have to submit your medical certificate, because you don't have to, by the way, you don't have to submit your medical certificate before you've been selected by Uzbekistan government. You'll be doing that in February. So do not worry about medical certificate if that's been your concern. Then in the middle of March or like until April, you're gonna have that exams and interviews. If you've been successfully selected by the universities, so like you can apply to 2 universities. And actually, about applying to those universities, let me tell you, is that like about applying to those universities, I'm gonna give you the best advice. Is first of all would be to apply to 1 university in Budapest. There are like Corvinus, BME, LTE. Those are the best universities in Budapest, because Budapest is the capital. There are a lot more opportunities than in any other cities of Hungary. So please apply for 1 university in Hungary. In Budapest, which is gonna be either BME, LT, and Corvinus. That depends on your major. Like if LT is known for the best economics, so if you're going for economics, go for LT. But it depends on your major, right? Then apply for any universities other than in other city, but here people call regions as counties, like country, but like without R, so they call it counties. So apply for 1 university outside of the capital, which can be Debrecen. A lot of people come to Debrecen, or it can be PEX, or it can be I don't remember. It could be Miskolc. So like try to explore the other options other than Budapest. 1 for Budapest and 1 for county, like which is Debrecen or any others. So I would apply to Debrecen because Debrecen is very nice, and it's actually the best ranked university in Hungary as of right now. So the competition might be higher actually this year, but then so consider other universities than in Budapest. So that's something I really wanted to mention. Then in mid-July, or like you're gonna receive your nomination, and you're gonna be very happy or very sad. And then from June, July, till August, you're gonna be applying for visa. Like they're gonna send you emails regarding what you needed, like what things you need. And it's gonna be a pretty stressful process, because like it's not something you want to do, like because there's a lot of documentation. So please make sure you're like prepared for it. So after that, you apply for visa, you're guaranteed to get a visa. So that's very nice. Then we can move on to that's actually the end of the presentation. Because there's nothing else for me to talk about. But then I'm pretty sure Elbek had other questions. So we can start with Elbek's question, then we can do a Q&A with subscribers.
So, right. By the way, thank you, MuhammadAli, for accepting, for saying yes when I asked you if we can do a podcast with you. Thank you. That's something I wanted to mention in the beginning, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I wasn't able to. So the first question is, you mentioned about interviews and entrance exams. So can you remember what what you were asked in the interview? And then we've heard that you might get some major related questions on your interview. So how well you need to know your major
All right,
to answer that?
yeah, sure. everybody take notes because it's not gonna be repeated. First of all, you don't need any knowledge about university itself. Like they're not gonna ask why do you want to come to this university or like why are you coming to Hungary. In my interview and from based on other experiences, they only asked about, well, first of all, you're actually gonna have entrance exam. Entrance exam is gonna be like, I had an entrance exam from math and biology because I'm studying biology. And let me tell you, the questions for on the entrance exam, especially from us, they were easy, like the middle school level questions. They were really easy. And plus, you can use AI or ChatGPT, or you can cheat. Like, I'm being completely honest, you can cheat. Like, just to give you like more, so take notes that you can cheat because they don't control your camera, they don't control your laptop as other universities do, or like as other like programs do. They do not control your device, so you can freely cheat. But do I encourage it? No. But can you do it? Yes. So just giving a heads up. Then there is, so like biology and math were actually really easy. Like, but then the interview itself, for me it was very hard. It wasn't hard because I study A-level biology, and but they did ask very deep questions about biology, which you're not supposed to know. Actually, the interviewer itself was like, "I'm surprised you know it." She like the more I answered, the more deeper she went to the questions, and I'm like, I was starting to forget, and like it was started very deepening. She was asking about the first of all the Krebs cycle or the Krebs cycle, yeah, Krebs cycle. Then it was turned to the Kelvin cycle. If you're, it's about biology. Then it went into something more. But then the interviewer does not expect you to know the undergraduate level knowledge. So everything you studied at high school will be enough, even if it was in Uzbek. But then, so first of all, right now, please do not let your like concerns be regarding any exams or interviews, because first of all, right now you have more important things to focus on, which is motivation letters. So after you've been successfully accepted through the first stage, then you can worry about the exams. And then I actually shared that the preparatory for any major, I shared the Google Drive for any preparation materials. So I mean, like, I'm gonna ask, or we can drop it in the chat. The post that I shared about Stipendium Hungaricum, there was like very secret sauce that people use, and it's very nice for preparation for exams. But for now, don't worry about exams. So yeah, while you're not expected to know it at high level, if you ever took A levels, if you're from presidential school, it's gonna be very easy. So yeah, that's the answer for the question. Are you there?
So, and then, so you mentioned that competition is not really that high, but still, we know that a lot of people apply, and it's popular among people who are actually applying. So, what do you think? What is more important? What carries more weight? Are they motivational essays or the interview itself?
Definitely the interview. I would like, because look, the motivation letter first go through the Uzbekistan Ministry of Education, right? And it's not supposed. Well, I personally got away with using AI. Like, I'm being very honest with everyone here. I'm being very honest. I got away with using AI in my motivation letter, and quite a lot of people did. So motivation letter does not matter as much as personal statements in US application first. And second of all, the interview is going to be held by the university itself, which means if you're failing the interview, they're not going to accept you, right? So interview, you got to make sure the motivation letter is supposed to be very nice and very well written. But then after you've gone through the first filtering phase of Minister of Education, then you can go and prepare for the interview and exam. So please make sure to be very well prepared for the interview to maximize your chance of acceptance, because it's done by the university. And if your university does not like your performance on the exam, on the interview, you're failing. Even if you had the stellar motivation letters, the stellar rec letters, they're not gonna matter because you failed and you don't know your subject. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Then the next question is, so, like, what kind of applicants do they actually look for? For like, is it like, isn't this competitive? Uh, so do you need to be like good enough? Or do you need to have a specific trait that they look for, or is it like good? like
I
overall?
got you. So at the end of the day, even in Europe and just like in Asia and US, they first of all look for qualified candidates. And by qualified candidates, as I explained earlier, you gotta have the knowledge of English that like sufficient enough. Like if you have around IELTS 7 or above, you're good to go. But if you're under it, you might want to reconsider it because like yeah, the requirement is only 5.5, but then if you compare yourself to others, like even I had 8.5, but like, by no means I'm saying you have to have 8.5. But then first of all, any university will look for like even in US has like right now a lot of universities they are going for the test required, right? Because they're realizing that students are not really able to study. So you have to have at least some academic background in your major and the English requirement because you are gonna be studying in English. So yeah, you have to have even in Asian universities, you have to have that bare minimum of English and your major knowledge.
Thank you, Muhammad Ali. And then, well, do you have any advice to our subscribers? Anything, well, any advice that you believe would make even a little difference in their application?
Sure, sure. I actually didn't talk about a lot about motivation letters and direct letters. First of all, I would encourage you to everyone get a direct letter from their teachers if possible. Like they're gonna, if I'm not mistaken, there is two direct letter places. So you can, if I'm not mistaken, you can upload two direct letters or you can send an invitation to direct letters. I don't remember from the last year. So do make sure that direct letters are there because direct letters do show that third perspective on your life, how you interact with others. And that's very essential for any universities to see, just like in US applications. But then I've been asked a lot about what's the difference between the motivation letter and the personal statement of the US application, right? And they're very different. Like I'm gonna tell you, they're very different. And by itself, motivation letter tells you that you gotta show your motivation to study at this program, to study in this country, right? But then personal statement is all about your life story, your like your challenges. But then the motivation letter is not really only about the struggles you had or like why did you care about that childhood memory of yours. It's more academic. Yes, it is more academic, and it's actually better because if you haven't had a lot of like struggles or like any personal character development arcs in your life, it's not going to be as hard as writing personal statement. So that's the plus. Then talking about the direct letter, sorry, the motivation letter, you gotta show to, I mean, you gotta write that like you, the reason why you want to study in Hungary, the reason why you want to study your major, and the reason why you want to study at that specific university. And how you do it is that like you research about the Hungarian culture that like hey, like I like this culture because of blah blah blah. And I myself wrote about like because I like their food. I mean, I researched. I mean, I'm telling you, the motivation letter does not matter as much. But then you gotta do at least some level of research that like because I'm a fan of eating chicken. They had a very like the different type of like preparation of chicken. So like you can go into their culture and like research anything about their culture and say, hey, I love this because of this. Then why do you want to study in like this university and this major? I'm studying biology and I connected it to my interests in like neuroscience and like medicine. Yeah, I still not medicine, but like I connected it to interests in my life, the biology interests, like how dreams, like I'm very into neuroscience and the brain, so I connected to that. So and then why do you want to study at that specific university? So three reasoning, three must-haves in any motivation letter would be so your university, and I'm studying at the University of Debrecen. Well, it's you don't want to say it's very high ranked in. I mean, it's the best ranked in Hungary. Yeah, it's not the best in the world. You don't want to say, hey, it's the best university in Hungary. That's the reason why I want to go. No, you research the curriculum that you want to study, and you research the opportunity the university provides, and then you say, hey, like I want to go to the Brisbane because it has a very good social life, or like it has this club that I want to go and I cannot find anywhere else. And it will basically show you, it will basically show them that you did your research and you want to actually study in here. So make sure to research at least like one club or professor or anything regarding to the university that will show you that you're actually caring and interested in this university. So the three must-haves. Take notes. I'm not repeating it anymore. So first of all, it would be why do you want to study in Hungary? Cultural reason. I mean, if you've been to any international like trip, or like if you've ever been outside of Uzbekistan, it would be nice to mention that experience, because like you'll be ready for any cultural shocks that you might have, because I myself had cultural shocks. It was my first time abroad. Like people here like smoke a lot, like vape a lot. So, and like there's a lot of other stuff going on. So if you've ever been outside of Uzbekistan, you might want to say you've had this cultural exchange program, and so you are ready for any cultural shock or any moving. Then, why do you want to study this major? And if you like for any presidential school kids, it would be like you're ready for this academic rigor. Like if you've studied at PS, you know what I mean by academic pressure. So you're ready for this academic pressure and the reasoning why you want to study at this major. And then third, it would be why do you want to study at this university? So if you answer that, you'll be good to go. So like there's nothing else for you to do. So you write those motivation letters, and that's the final piece of advice I want to give you. And then after your first successful stage, you're gonna be doing medical certificate exams and interviews. So make sure to prepare for them. I'm gonna ask Vic or like anybody else to share a link for the Google Drive that I sent in my channel, or like you can just go to my channel, like not advertising by the way. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah, we will definitely consider that. Thank you, MuhammadAli. And then, do extracurriculars matter as much as, interest, motivation, let's say?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, they don't. I'm gonna tell you honestly, they don't. Like I myself haven't had the best extracurricular profile. Well, I mean, your experiences shape who you are, and they shape the stories that you tell. So that's important. Like I've been to a lot of UNs, but then it's not really related. I've been like in research. I've done research, so they do shape who you are. That's why you can tell better stories. But then they don't matter as much as US applications, because US really looks for like very well extracurricular background, but then they do not matter as much in Stipendium Hungaricum. I'm not telling you gotta have shitty ECs. No, if you have great extracurriculars, or like if you still have time, develop them. But then do not get yourself concerned only about ECs, because the motivation letter and the direct letters matter more. So that's what I mean.
Oh, thank you, Mr. MuhammadAli. And then this was the end, I guess. Well, I have no more questions, so I guess it's high time to give our subscribers an opportunity to do a question.
Yes. Dear subscribers, you're all welcome to ask
Yeah.
any questions. I'm ready for them.
Yeah, so if you have anything to say, like in the end, anything you wanted to talk about but you didn't have the chance, you are free. You're free.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then you got accepted to University of Minerva as well, so this is something you can talk about as well, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
During the interview, what kind of questions might be asked? As I said, it's gonna be only like major related questions. So like, do you know about, like, if you're studying biology? Like, I remember the questions. Do you know about this photosynthesis of the cell, or like the plant photosynthesis? Things like that, like basic concepts from your major. So it's gonna be very related to major, not to any university, not why do you want to study in Hungary. Could you please tell about transcript of records? Well, transcript of records, it is your marks at high school that you received. Like, no, it's gonna be, no, your in Uzbek, it would be, transcript from 8th to 11th grade. So you will have to upload your grades for them to evaluate your GPA. And about the job opportunities here, I'm gonna tell you honestly, they in Hungary, once you're done with education, they're not gonna extend your visa, and unless you are able to find a job, which is very hard to find for any international, the job opportunities here aren't as prosperous as in US. But then you still can find the internships. Like I have friends who have internships in Budapest from the country related to their major. So, well, in Budapest, they're very like great, but then it's still very hard to find internships and opportunities. There aren't a lot of people who are like working here because they're not gonna extend your visa. But like, if you're able to find a job, which is like very great, which is a very hard thing to do, you're gonna have EU visa, like the blue visa, or like do they call it blue visa, or like the EU visa for the rest of your life, and then you can leave here. Like you can bring your parents, you can bring everybody. So that's nice. Regarding if you're a freshman in university, which one is better, telling it or hiding? Can you share? Oh, sure. If you're a freshman in university, it's better to hide it. Like you don't want to say that you studied at this university, blah blah blah. You better apply as a gap year student. So you do not. As in any other case, is usually you're not telling that you're a freshman in other universities. Okay, in Uzbekistan, if that's the question. And should we go to the Minister of... No. It's just your application itself goes to them first. They evaluate it, and they then send it to Hungary. But then I'm gonna be honest. I've heard the case. Well, I mean, it's only rumors, but then people have used some corruption. But I'm not sure if that's really the case. So you don't go to Minister of Education. Would you like to continue your career as a biologist or doctor there? I'm actually next year planning to switch my major to medicine. So yeah, I want to become a doctor at some point. Again, but yes, the question is like, no matter what level you are right now at the university, you still can apply for a bachelor level degree, and you're gonna start from the first course, but then itself that doesn't mean that you cannot apply. And plus, you don't need to apply for a foundation program, because I know people who from high school who just graduated high school, public school, and still won Stipendium Hungaricum and are still studying in their first year. And by the way, some majors here last only 3 years. Biology, my major actually is only for 3 years, which is like 6 semesters. So yeah, there are some, and medicine lasts up to 6 years, just like in Uzbekistan. So yeah, and do I recommend Hungary for girls? Like, it's just the same question as like, do you recommend studying abroad for anyone, right? And I'm not sure. I cannot tell you from perspective of a girl. Although I do have female friends here, I've talked with them like the life here, especially Hungary. Actually, Europe, and especially my city, the Debrecen, is very safe place. Like if you're asking about safety, it's a very well safe, and like people here don't go bombarding other places, or like they don't have any public shootings, just like in US. So you will never care. You will never have to worry about like walking at night, because people don't care about you. That's very... Even if you go out at 1 or 2 a.m., nobody's gonna tell you anything. Nobody's gonna come to you. So it's very safe for that. What Hungarian universities are good for economics? As I said, it would be ELTE, as far as I know. But do make sure you make your own research, because I was making research into biology and medicine. So yeah. And there is an exchange program available. Yes, I've heard about it. About the exchange program, like some people came here for only 1 semester to study and go, but I'm not sure if it's covered by Stipendium Hungaricum. I'm not sure if it's going to be covered. So I don't know a lot about the exchange program, but it's going to be... I've only heard that it's going to be for only 1 semester. What kind of English level needed? I don't think you were listening. I mean, I don't think you entered, but the requirements for IELTS, they go as low as 5.5. But then I would really highly advise if you have like 6.5 or 7 or above, to make sure that you're standing out. Muhammad, you can DM me after. Is it better to study pre-med in Germany, US, or in Hungary? I mean, worse to consider studying after bachelor's. Oh, I see. That's a very nice question, actually. Whoever you are, that's the best question I received so far. Because like I myself like chose biology because I wanted to study pre-med and then apply to medical school in US. But then I was very disappointed by here, because they don't provide you with a lot of opportunities to go to research. You don't have access to clinics, because only medical students get to do that. So if you're considering pre-med, which is not medicine itself, it's not highly advised. So you can study medicine directly. So that's all. Like, you should study medicine directly if you don't want to. I mean, in US, the education is like you do pre-med as a bachelor's, then you apply for medical school. So it's not good for that. You go srazu to medicine. My field is tourism. Can I apply? Yes, I'm pretty sure there are universities for bachelors. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other majors like I haven't explored, but then they are available in English. So, guys, is that it for your questions, or?
So is it actually easier to get in there than than to get into other Asian universities, like to Hong Kong or to China or
I
Korea?
believe. Well, I mean, from my experience, I think so. But then, one thing that actually, everybody listen up. One thing that I want to say is that like last year, only 20 people from Uzbekistan got in, and went to Hungary. So there are certain quotas, how many people they like the dedicate. But I heard this year it was extended to more people. But it still is gonna be around 25 or 30 people at max who are gonna be coming from like who applied this year for bachelors, and then like I mean there are also masters and PhD, so there's also that. So you can still go, and it's not as competitive, yes, but then there is only like 25 or 30 Uzbek applicants, like only like 25 or 30. Imagine that if there are like 200, I mean 500 or 600 people applying, and then it's only about 20 or 30. It's not that high anyway. So yeah, it's gonna be competition among Uzbek applicants. And one thing also, I've heard that if you're applying for majors that are not as required in Uzbekistan, they're not gonna nominate you. Uzbekistan, I mean, because like Uzbekistan does not need more CS, or do they? Like, I'm pretty sure there are some like very controversial ones. But then, if your application is good, go for the major you want to study. Do not go for the major that you don't want to study just because Uzbekistan might value it more, like medicine or like engineering. Do not go for that if you're not sure if you want to do it for the rest of your life. But the personal question, but why didn't you go to US to study there, or Hungary was the last option? Yeah, it's not a personal question. Like I admitted personally, I did not have any other option. To be honest, I had a University of Minerva, but then it didn't give me a full, didn't give me enough financial aid that I was able to cover. So actually, this year I might be going to Minerva as well, but I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it was my last option. So as I said, please consider Hungary as your last option, not as the first priority, please. How did you write your motivation letter? As I said, there are going to be 3 things you want to look out for. Why do you want to study at Hungary? Why do you want to study this major? And why do you want to study at this university? Can I continue as a sophomore student without studying foundation year? Yes. Yeah. You actually. I'm not sure about sophomore because, look, my degree, my biology is like only 3 years. So like you can be considered sophomore. Actually, yeah, you can be considered a sophomore. So yeah, you don't need to study foundation year. A lot of people actually are not studying foundation year here because they either studied at local university or they straight went from high school. If you have A levels, you're eligible to skip the foundation year. And plus, there are other people as well from public schools who got the stipendium. Did you have language barriers when you first went to Hungary? No, actually, I'm very happy that like I didn't encounter any language barriers because people here don't understand basic level of English, and even if they don't, you can always use Google Translator. Like it's very helpful. But then, I mean, while shopping, yes, you might have because like not everything is labeled in English. But then you always have your translator with you. So, and then, by the way, you're going to be required to take Hungarian language for first 2 semesters. And I was successfully able to finish my first semester. And the Hungarian language, while it's not really pretty, it's very easy if you know Russian and Uzbek because it's very similar. For example, we call apple olma, right? And then they also call it alma, just like in Kazakh or Kyrgyz. So like some things are very similar in Russian and like Uzbek, so it was easy for me. So it's gonna be easy for you guys as well. So yeah, that's what I mean. Any other questions?
I believe that's it. Thank you for your time, Mr. MuhammadAli. Thank you for the valuable info that you shared with us together right now. And I hope that, like the valuable insights and experience that you shared with us will help our subscribers to succeed. And and I hope that the info they got in here will help them enhance their own application and avoid clear common mistakes. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Ali. And yeah, dear subscribers,
Impossible.
yeah, it's possible. Yes. So Stipendium Hungaricum is a very good opportunity if you want to succeed. Like if you want to study abroad, it's not really that competitive in comparison to other Asian or US itself, as Mr. Muhammad Ali himself told. So if you want, like, we highly encourage you to check out his channel. We will send it to a discussion group in a minute, I believe. Thank you, Muhammad Ali. Thank you, Rahmat. Yeah, thank you, bro. So great time, bro.
Let's keep pushing. I believe in all of
you. So if you have any specific questions, you can like contact him. You can DM him. Yes, I hope he doesn't mind. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Good luck, everyone, and have a beautiful day. Wait, how do I leave? Wait, how?